Oh, no. Don't be sorry.
He said it was a girl.
I really prefer that you do that.
He was a German teacher, so she was just
Hey, quiet again. Silent. Somebody else. Go.
As you read through the problem, right below where the tangent line and the graph intersect, you can just write 3.
Oh, nicely done. Wow. And how do you know that line? That's well done.
Just right at the end of the problem. Well, okay, so in A it says, show that L is tangent to the graph of y equals f of x at the point x equals 3.
No, that's perfect. Well done. 3 tickets for that one. Anybody else? Somebody answer this. This is a really good habit to develop. Now, I want you doing your homework in your notebook, but I don't want you having to redraw the graph and things, so don't worry about that. And you're free to write stuff like this on the packet to kind of help you get the clues written down. I just want the work in your notebook, okay? So we need to develop the habit of writing this y value. We don't know the numeric value of the y coordinate yet, but we do have a nice, easy symbol that you should just be in the habit of always using. So what goes here? It can't be x. This is x. The x coordinate is y. We can put y, but there's a better symbol. Looking for a hand. It's more specific. F of x, you're close now. Again, every time you raise your hand and I call on you, you get 2 tickets. F of x refers to every single one of these y coordinates. So that's not really specific enough for this y coordinate. Say it again, sir. F of 3. No one talk, please. No one talk. Heidi off her phone. Sorry. Lexi off her phone. Heidi took the ball for Lexi. Okay. What up, friend? Okay. All the clues are on the board. Somebody tell me what's the goal of the problem. So we want to show that this line is tangent to this graph. Okay, when they say show that a line is tangent, it's a fancy way of saying, please go find the equation of the line tangent to f at x equals 3. In fact, I would like you to write that either on this paper or in your notebook. This literally means find the equation of line tangent. You have poor grammar, it's fine. Find the equation of line tangent to f at x equals 3. That's specifically what they're asking. We can make a note of that. The biggest challenge of the AP test is not working the problem. The biggest challenge is understanding what they want. That's why understanding all the concepts is so important. Please, Len.
So are they asking to kind of find the equation of the line L or something different?
Nicely done. Whenever they say the word show, 3 tickets, Landon. Whenever they say the word show, I feel like, oh, this is going to be an easy problem because they are going to give me the answer.
Yeah.
And they did.
So that's it.
This is the result we desire. So all we have to do is go show, 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 show. And as long as we end up with a final result that is this, we've done it correctly. It's like they're telling you the answer ahead of time. They want you're supposed to show how you get the answer.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a written question. This is a free response question. It's not a multiple choice. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Please, Sarah.
So is this
Lindsay, just come grab all this stuff up here.
Is this kind of, so we're going to do like the derivative of 4x squared minus x cubed, and then is that going to be the answer of the derivative of that?
2 for Sarah. Everyone look at me. Look at me. She's making a small mistake, and I'm really glad that you brought it up, because it's one that everyone makes. We just got to make sure we don't make it in the future. This is not f prime. This is an equation for this line, so it's just an equation of some function. Just like this is an equation for some function. Now, the two functions are related to f prime in a way that we'll show in a minute, but this isn't f prime.
But the
Keep going.
answer of the derivative for the fx equation, that's f prime?
That's f prime.
Oh.
Yeah, the derivative of f is f prime. That's perfect. Two more tickets. Everybody okay? Please check.
So, I don't know.
Go, go. No one
So
talk.
if you take f of x and then you're solving, you use that equation and you do like 3 equals 4x squared minus x cubed. Is that the 3? Is that how you would get the y equals 18 minus 3x?
Not exactly, but also will be part of that.
Okay.
So you're all, like, really your comments, Sarah's comments, they're all in the right vicinity of what needs to happen. There's not quite enough detail and quite enough connection.
Okay.
But just close. Anybody else? 3 for checks. Cool. We need to find the equation of the line tangent. Pick up one of your flashcards and write the following on the flashcard. Pick up your flashcard and write this. We'll jump over to a new page for a second. So you should write on your flashcard the equation for any line. And then we're going to write something else on the other side. So one side of the card should say the equation for any line. Notice I said any line. It's not just lines that are tangent, it's any line.
So like curved lines, like all.
Any linear line, so not a curve. Yeah, so the word I'll use because the AP test does as well, Landon, is line curve. So line means straight, linear. Memorize this formula. Y equals.
We come back.
Yeah, the line means that we put on the back. So the equation of any line on the other side, you write y equals m parenthesis x subtract x1 plus y1. Whoa, that was not what I wanted, but that's okay. We'll come back. There we go. Question? Good?
So X minus, Y1, sorry.
Yeah. And then label it.
Well, it's Y, it's X1 and Y1.
X1 or Y1. Label it. This is the slope of the line. Because it's a line, it's linear, it only has one slope. The slope never changes, it's a straight line. This X1 comma Y1 represents any point on the line. That was spelled awkwardly. Point on the line. The other X and Y also represent any other point on the line, but we usually just leave them as X and Y. Question. You will use this equation as much as any other equation that you have memorized this year. This one gets asked all the time on the AP test on many different questions.
Is that just point slope form derived?
Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's simply the point slope form of a line. Anybody else? If you remember the name, great, you don't have to, but it is exactly that. Okay, back to this. So when it said find the equation of the line tangent to the function f at x equals 3, the first thing you should write in your notebook is this equation. So in your notebook now, you're going to write y equals m parenthesis x minus x1 parenthesis plus y1. We're supposed to write the equation of the line tangent, so we write down this equation, which is good for any line, so it's good for a line tangent. And as Jackson said, it is the point slope form of a line. Any questions? Awesome. So really, back to Landon's comment, all we have to do, Landon, is we've got to figure out how to write this equation and just verify that once we're done, we have this. That's why I always like the questions that say show. like they're giving you the answer. Anybody else? So where do we go from here? This is where I just got to teach you to think openly. No, we did lose Heidi on her cell phone. So. Payback, Lexi, payback. So, please.
Would you put the 3
Yes, that's very good. Sarah gets 3 more tickets. She said put the 3 and the f of 3 into this equation. Somebody use what she just said and tell me what I should write. Like, this is in my notebook. I want to write something here using what Sarah just suggested. She said put the 3 and the f of 3 into that equation. Ellie?
F of 3 equals.
Louder?
F of 3 equals.
You're thinking something different than Sarah, but I'm going to write it down anyway because it can still be helpful. One thing, this type of a problem isn't often solved as line by line by line. So if I look at your homework and I see some work here, and then I see some work over here, I'm okay with that for this type of a problem. Let's get what Ellie's saying first a little bit.
F of 3 equals.
Pause right there. 2 tickets for a really good mistake. F of 3 does not equal this equation because this is f. So that won't work. Brandon?
Okay, so what I was just gonna
Take it,
say,
so Ellie.
x1 would be 3 and y1 would be f3.
Nicely done. Because the x1 represents any xy coordinate on the line. We know the x coordinate they told us is 3. And then the y coordinate, we have a symbol to represent that value, f of 3. That is perfect. 3 tickets.
Don't we already have the slope too?
Talk to me, Chad.
Because in the equation y equals 8 minus 3x, the slope.
3 tickets for Chad. The slope of this line is -3. He's recognizing that because he's worked with lines enough to remember that.
And you just got that from the equation y equals mx plus b.
Nicely done. You remember that y equals mx plus b, and they just rearranged it. So you can tell that the slope of the line is -3. Any other question? I'm going to do something I don't do that often. I'm going to try and do it more often. Okay, the following question is worth 1 point whether you raise your hand or not. I just want to get a poll from the class. You can pay yourself tickets for participating. Raise your hand, and so don't raise your hand if it doesn't make sense. You still get the point. Raise your hand if what Chad just said made sense to you, that we really can look at this and say, oh, the slope of this line is -3. Raise your hand if that made sense. Just looking for everyone. Good, point for the whole room. So we're trying to find the equation of this line. What else can we do here?
So
please.
would we put -3 for the n or no?
Good comment, 2 tickets. We can't, even though we know that this really should be -3. We know for sure, that's the slope of this line. We can't put the -3 in because it won't be proving that we know where the line comes from. Like we'd be using the answer to find the answer. Does that kind of help? Yeah, we've got to find the -3 a different way. Good answer. Perfect understanding. Where do we go from here?
Well, didn't you simplify the f of x equation to equal mx plus b format?
This one up here. This one won't ever equal mx plus b because this is a curve.
Oh, I see
And,
that.
yeah, no worries. That's kind of the same thing that Ellie was thinking. 2 tickets for a good try. That's fine. Every time we bring up mistakes, it really does help. So it's good to talk about just whatever. Please, Heidi.
Couldn't you put it into standard form, the y equals equation?
This one here.
No doubt.
This one here.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome comment. 2 more. You could, you don't need to.
Okay.
In fact, I'll just always say we just start with this and just go with this. It really is the best way. Please.
Did you plug in the f of x equation as y? So then
The y right here.
No, the y.
Over here. That's the same thing that Deborah wanted to do, and it actually doesn't make sense. This is a formula for the curve. It's how you find every y coordinate on this curve. that this y value isn't the same meaning as this y value. This one here,
Or would you just leave
that'd be
that
kind of
y?
doing Kelsey's thing where we're using the answer to come up with the answer. We can't do that. So,
Derivative?
derivative would be very helpful. I read a book once that said, it was like a book on how to get ready for the AP test, and they literally had in the book, if unsure what to do, take the derivative. You're probably right half the time. It's true. So we have this formula. Write this in your notebook, please. F of x equals 4x squared minus x cubed. Write that in your notebook. Dang, what is with the board? Deborah said to take the derivative of both sides, so I write that down. You should do as well. And then somebody tell me what to write on the next line. Check. I want to know what symbol to write here, and I'm going to put equal, and I want to know what symbols to write here. I'm going to do, and that's fine. I just want to write the more compact version. Y prime would work. My favorite is F prime. Don't worry.
F prime of x is equal to d, or like in parentheses, 4x squared, close parentheses over dx.
Let me make a comment. Chad's doing great. You can use the fraction bar to perform the same function as parentheses. So the fraction bar, the way I've written it, is telling me that this d dx applies to all of this. So I don't have to do it if I don't want to. Keep going.
And then minus dx over.
Perfect. Two more. Questions anyone? Somebody tell me what you write on the next line. So here, hopefully.
So you get f prime of x equals 8x equals x cubed.
Huh.
And then minus 3x squared.
Perfect. 2 points. Okay, so we took the derivative of f. We get this brand new formula. What good is the formula? Ben?
So it's kind of an incomplete thought, but so we found the derivative, like that's the equation of this one, but then we also have a tangent line as well.
Yeah, good comment actually. Everyone look up. That's real, no, you're right on the right.
So
you're right on
they're
track.
somehow related.
Yep, you're right in the right place. We have 3 equations, Landon. Okay, I need everyone in the room to answer this. I'll pay everyone who knows 2 tickets. What is the what is the main purpose of this equation? I've been saying it since the first day of class. What is the main reason for having that equation? Forgot the first day of class. Oh well. Answer this equation. I'll give you 2 for this one. Early in the year I said that I have a very simple definition for what a function is.
List of x.
There we go. Raise your hand if you know it. Everyone, okay, everybody. Who knows what my simple definition of a function is? Everybody who knows, click on Amanda to tell us. List of x, y pairs. Who knew that? 2 tickets. Okay. Then I said, what's a graph? Here's the graph of f. All who know that one. Once we get into the rhythm of the questions, it comes back to memory. What's the graph? All who know. All who know. What's the graph then? A function is a list of x, y pairs. What's the graph then? It's just a bunch of points. It's a picture of the x, y pairs. Who knew that? 2 more. What's the purpose of this function's formula? All who know now. This is helping a little bit. It's still pretty fuzzy. What's the purpose of the function's formula? I really have been saying it over and over again. I haven't said it much since unit 1. Braden?
Is it the, so it's like the list of x, y pairs for that graph?
The formula is how you find all the x, y pairs. You plug in the x, compute the y. Plug in the x, compute the y. Or you can plug in the y, compute the x. Plug in the y, compute the x. Everybody got that? You need a flashcard because y'all looked at me blankly. So grab a flashcard. Write this on your flashcard. Write that on a flashcard, one side, the other side. The formula for f of x is how we compute all the xy pairs for f of x. Write that down. Formula for f of x is how we compute all xy pairs for f of x. Okay, cool, back to here. So, Landon said we've got 3 equations now. We have this equation. Somebody raise your hand and tell me what's this is not a trick question, I just want you to say it back to me. What is the main purpose for that equation?
Find the xy pairs.
Of what?
Graph.
Called, like there's lots of graphs here. Which graph?
Of the f.
Perfect, the f graph. So I can use this equation to find any xy pair on f. Okay, somebody answer this one. What's the purpose of this equation? For a hand. What's the purpose of that equation? Landon knows. We've got Landon, Braden, Oakley, Jacob, Deborah. These are all in for 2. Lexi, Sarah, Amanda, Chad, Chance, Kelsey. Talk to us. Let's go, Lexi.
Is it to compute the xy pairs of the line out?
This formula is so I can find every single point on this function. How many knew that before she said it? 2 tickets, 3 for Lexi. We have a question. Okay, now Landon mentioned we have a third formula now that is related to all this. It's f prime. What, read f prime, Landon? I can't remember it.
Equals 8x minus 3x squared.
Thank you. Okay, the purpose of that formula is to find every xy pair on the graph of f prime.
Just for us, like f prime is like the instantaneous slope, right?
Of what? Of what?
Of a point on the f graph.
Nice. 3
So
tickets.
Wouldn't
Roll, man, roll.
Like the y, this line over here would be the instantaneous point at the tangent. Does that make sense? Like the graph over here, the y graph would be the, I don't know how to say this.
If you've got the right idea, you're struggling to get the words out.
Yeah.
If you've got the right idea, somebody help him. Look up. We're going to get a flashcard here in a second. One purpose of this equation is to find every xy pair on f prime. Question? But Chad brought up the more important purpose. That's a blend of purpose and important. Okay, the more important purpose of this equation is that you can use this equation to compute the tangent slope of f at any point. The tangent slope of f at any point. So, oh, please, talk to me.
Oh, you have to do
Try, it's
something
fine.
with the 3, f3, that point right there, because that's the point on the tangent slope.
Point on the tangent line.
It's a point on the tangent line, but then if the f prime is fine, the tangent, is the tangent slope?
Let me say it back to you, sir. You're very close, both you and Chad. This is the line tangent to f, okay? That's not the tangent slope of f. Those are different things. This is the line tangent to f. Let's make a flashcard real quick. Draw this on your flashcard, please. F prime is a function, meaning a graph table or formula. That's one side of the card. F prime is a function, graph table or formula. Let's see, which can be used. Other side says to compute the tangent slope of f at any point. We learned this in Unit 1. It's just faded a bit, so we've got to bring it back to memory. Question? Get that written down. I'm watching for when everyone's stopped writing. It really helps to make the cards as we dictate the cards versus like making them in notes and then cards. If you run out of cards, just ask for more. I'll keep giving them to you. Cool. Back here.
I just have a quick.
Yeah, please.
So is there a point where the f prime will equal the equation of line L?
The line L? Not necessarily. Most likely because L is linear, there will be a point where the f prime graph and the line L will intersect, but not a relationship we typically are interested in. So, good question. We got to reset the problem. Somebody remind us, what is the goal of the problem? Like, we've talked about a lot of different things, hopefully.
Just trying to find the equation of the line.
Good. Trying to find the equation of the line tangent to f at 3, which they're calling the line L. We're trying to find this equation. We start, okay, does anyone have a question about the purpose? Okay, so we're going to give a ticket for the whole room to just raise their hand. Raise your hand if you are really comfortable with the purpose of the problem. If you're not, don't raise your hand. Who's very comfortable with the purpose of the problem? If you're not, do not raise your hand. I'll take it for the whole room. Got several people still kind of fuzzy. It said, show that L is tangent to the graph of F. So show that this line is tangent. I told you to memorize that that means find the equation of the line tangent to F at 3. That's this line. So you're simply trying to find this line's equation. That's the goal of the problem. We start, okay, in the future, every time you are asked to find the equation of a line tangent, you should immediately write down this formula. Got it? Okay, what elements of this formula do we need to find in order to fill out the formula? Somebody just remind us. Please. You mean x1 and y1?
Yeah, x1 and y1.
All right. We need to find x1, y1. We need to find one other thing to fill out that equation. The slope. So we need to find the slope of the line tangent. Okay, we have one of the three things. We know that the x-coordinate is 3. We just had a big discussion. Oh, sorry.
No.
We just had a big discussion about how to find this. Hoping several of you now know how to find that. Raise your hand if you know how to find this. I just had you make a flashcard that tells you how to find that. Read your flashcard. Make sense of what the flashcard says. If the flashcard doesn't make sense, we got to talk some more. But you should be able to read the flashcard and make sense of how we find the slope of this line at 3. How we find the slope of that line at 3. So everyone who knows how to find the slope of this line at this point, which is really the slope of this curve at this point, raise your hand. Okay, everyone who raises their hand who knows. How are we going to find the slope of the line tangent to f at 3? Let's go, Paris.
You just look at line equals
That is definitely one way we can do it. We need to do it the other way. Because we already know, no worries, because we already know the answer. Who knows the other way to find that the slope of this line is -3? So Alyssa, derivative of which? You're right, because the derivative is how we find the slope. We lost Soren on his phone. Now we're going to have to start implementing the official school policy, which is really painful. Okay, for you and me, so I don't like it. I got to build a scramble. That will solve all my problems. Okay, talk to me.
Okay, so with f of x on that function right there, the f of x, there you just find the derivative of that right here.
So we found the derivative here. What do you use this derivative for?
You would use that to find the slope at that point.
Nice.
On the f graph.
Nice. This formula, just like the flashcard says, you can plug in any x into this formula, and you can find the slope anywhere on f. So you pause right there. Pause it. I want to check the whole room. Let me say it one more time. You can use this formula to find the slope anywhere on f. All you have to do is plug in the x you are interested in. Raise your hand if that made sense. everyone? Talk to me, I got questions.
So you plug in 3 for x?
Because I want to know the
Okay.
slope of f when x is 3.
Okay.
That's the whole reason we had unit 2.
Okay, and then the answer right.
So if it wasn't at 3, like let's just say it was like 0, that's fine, then we would plug in 0. for it.
Notice, Oakley, what's 8 times 0?
0,
What's 3 times 0 squared?
0,
What's the slope of f at this point?
0.
0.
So.
Bang!
Why is that applicable? Why does that matter?
Hey! No, look up, bud, look up. Yeah, we're trying to find this equation, right?
Yeah.
To find this equation, hey, find this equation, we need to fill out this one.
Yeah.
We need to know the slope of f at this point.
Yes.
So we plug in the 3.
It's all connecting.
Yes!
Now I know why.
I don't like it. Wow, it's driven on class. You don't like my connections. I don't know what you're gonna do for a living. Write this in your, please, write this in your notebook. F prime of 3 equals 8 times 3 minus 3 times 3 squared. So F prime of 3 is equal to 24, subtract, hey, look at that.
Hey. So where did, now I get it makes sense.
So the way you read this sentence is you say on the graph of f prime at x equals 3, the slope is going to be negative 3. That's the whole purpose for unit 2.
Yeah, we'll agree. And then it already gave you the slope right there.
Yeah, the trouble is we can't use this because that's using the answer to find the answer.
Right, but
But it's
you
good
just have to
confirmation.
Go backwards.
Yes,
Have to
we gotta go another way,
to the
another way.
beginning.
Yes, there you go.
Oh.
You gotta hurry just a little bit.
So
Okay,
that
please.
18 doesn't.
Oh, the 18 is gonna show up in a minute.
I have a question.
But let me answer Jeff's comment. Hey, look. Nobody leave. You got 60 seconds. Do not leave. Look at me. This is not the slope. Like I'm going to say it 12 times. This is not the slope. This is not the slope. This is not the slope. This is Mr. Recchi style. This is not the slope. This is not the slope. This is not the slope. This is an equation of a line. Got it? The slope of that line is negative 3.
Yeah.
That's found with the derivative. The derivative does not find us.
Right.
The derivative finds the slope.
Right. I'm
Okay.
just wondering where the 18.
Got it. We're coming up to that. Sorry, Chance, I gotta hurry just a little bit. Look up here, hey, we said that what's the purpose of this formula?
For finding all.
Don't leave. Find every point on F, right? So how do I find this point?
Plug that in.
Put that into
Oh my
this.
gosh. Ah.
Right? Got it?
Yeah.
Would you plug in 3?
You want to find the, that's what it says, F of 3.
So you plug in 3 to the derivative and to the original.
I hate that.
So Mr. Smith, you plug in 3 to the derivative of the original
For
function.
2 different purposes.
And-
Yes. But hey, look at me. Do not memorize steps again. If you memorize steps, you're in trouble. Memorize ideas. Okay?
You got 9.
36 minus 27.
Matt Davidson, Cameron Ecom, Connor Hall, and Austin Aikenhead.
They really say Austin Aiken.
Can I also please have Hannah Gibbert and Kenan
Hey, one
Kim
more time,
there
hey.
for checkout?
I'll
I
talk
need
loud.
Hannah Gibbert and Kenan Kim.
Negative
there
3
for
came
checkout.
from using F prime.
Thank you.
The 9 comes, the 9 right here comes from doing this. F of 3 is how we find the y coordinates on F when x is 3. Plug it in. So you must leave your test on the desk. You must leave your pink sheet on the desk. I'll pick up both of them. Yeah, the pink sheet. Good work today.
So on the outside, it's not technically adding or minusing, because like,
Yeah,
all the pluses, they can make
You know what it was like? It's not my job. You just wrote it. I wrote a little bit. The class part. Does that make sense?
Brady, don't forget your jacket, man.
Oh, well, thanks, dude.
Hiram Chusani and Nathan Ross, please come to the main office. Hiram Chusani and Nathan Ross, please come to the main office.
I hate the quotient rule still. Everyone hates the quotient rule. Quotient rule is garbage.
I did the practice class. Did you do the work line by line? Yeah. So I can study.
Alexander Edwards, Alex Edwards, thank you.
That's like.
On the actual test is to improve your notation. Your notation is not really where it should be, and that can lead to problems on the actual test. So I'll come in understood that. Calculus simply requires a certain commitment of time, and there's just not a shortcut.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, I feel like
So what you need to do is honestly you need to sit down with your parents and look at your schedule, look at what time you have, and you just have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, where do you want to invest your time? Because you only have so much time. You can't, it's not humanly possible to just keep adding more and more things and somehow try to find it, like it's just not possible to just keep squishing more and more in and have this mindset of like, well, I was just more efficient. I was just more, no, you have to actually yourself out. So you start going, you talk with your parents and say, look, we gotta sit here. I need your help on that. You know, help me figure out where I have time for things. And if you realize that you just don't have time for all of it, then you, as a family, you decide what's best for you. But you do have to have time.
well, I just keep adding stuff and I think that I'm a quitter.
No, there's a difference. Okay, to me, a quitter is someone who has the time and simply is not applying himself. Like he's not using his time wisely. He's wasting his time away with, I'll be frank, like video games or just hanging out or just nothing. Like he's just not that's quitting. Okay, when you have too full of a schedule, that's not quitting. That's just saying, no, I can only do so much and I've got to just understand that that's all I can do. That's different. That's just a readjustment. You should never feel ashamed of that. That everyone has to do that once in a while. You just have to say, no, this is just too full. I've got to readjust my priorities and get my life in order so that I'm, don't worry about that. No, really, don't worry about that. So talk to your mom and say, okay, I got 6 people around me.
I just kind of, I have plenty of time. My class doesn't start till 11, so
Okay.
first.
I just didn't get paid for my.
Oh, my bad, sorry. Sorry.
I have a bunch of zeros on my board. It sounds like a lot of.
Good morning, guys.
Somehow somebody didn't pass the watch for that, like just you're going to be a little proactive and watch when it's coming. Say, wait a minute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Just go grab
of the
a
United
yellow
States of
sticky
America,
note,
and
write
to the
down Ty
republic
Smith,
for
read
which-
to, write down what you're missing. Oh, like,
Okay, so where are the sticky notes at?
there's some, you'll see it on the computer there, Ty.
Thank you, and here's Mr. P.
So,
Good morning, Knights and faculty and staff. I apologize. We typically just go straight to video announcements, but we have a lot to celebrate today. And so we just want to quickly let you know an update on our state volleyball game that is going on now at WVU. The Knights swept Northridge 3 sets. And now they will be playing Brighton at noon today. So obviously we would love for you to be in class. But if you would like to head down and get parent excused to be there, we would love to have as many students out there supporting our ladies as they take on Brighton today at noon. Also during lunch today, we will have our PTSA Reflections Awards Gala. It will be in the Commons, so if you were a part of that group, please come to the Commons to be recognized for your great work. Also, the Utah FPGA announced that Utah All-State golfers yesterday. Lone Peak had 6 of the 12 of our first team All-State players. So congratulations to Elijah Turner, Max Betchley, Josh Rooker, Tyler Jones, Zach Jones, and Jackson Long. Good job, guys.
No worries. So here's what you do.
Alright guys, the college trivia question of the
Literally going
day
through the act of writing it down in a
which
very
college has the
super
largest
organized,
enrollment
easy to follow
at
way.
3,000?
Covers 2 things. It helps you prepare for the exam. It helps your brain say, nope, not going to do
So
that
one more
again.
time,
Can't do that
which
again.
college has the
It also helps
largest
me just
enrollment
verify
at
that there's not some subtle concept that
31,976
perhaps are
students?
still not
Remember
understanding.
to comment to the
So you
counseling
do a
office
super
at
good
the
job with
beginning
your
of lunch,
corrections. If
and
you do a
the
super
first
job, it
student
goes
that
really
can answer that
fast.
question
Like you
will
missed
receive
10.
a prize. So remember guys, this is our kingdom.
Okay, so it really doesn't take very long to do, check off 11 corrections if you have done a super good job. Okay? And then you're just ready to prepare for the retake. I'll probably have you do a practice test, but you know.
And then the ones where you're solving for like X,
For
I'm gonna be
white
honest,
line.
yeah. What?
For white line.
Yeah, but like the ones where you're like, which one?
Yeah, you're solving, you don't solve for X on any of these. So.
Ones like, ones where you're like solving for a number instead of like, and so you have like, you did. Like this one.
Yeah, you're not solving for a number, you're solving
Yeah.
for a white line.
Yeah. Wasn't there like 2 like this? I didn't know how to do them. I got them right completely out of luck. They just confuse me. Like I've tried doing them over and over again, and I can like start the process, but then I lose, get lost. So I got these ones right by luck, to be straight up honest. And so I kind of need like some more help with those, because I like got to this point and I was like, I don't know, and so I just made like semi an educated guess. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Okay, so the first step is legal. You took the derivative of both sides of the equation. You then use the add subtract property to break this into 2 separate derivatives. Okay, that's perfect. The thing is, it's no different than what you've been doing with every other problem. So how do you handle this situation on any other problem?
The chain rule or the rules, I just
The name isn't super important.
Yeah.
What you do?
Okay, here's my biggest problem. Are X and Y like both raised to the power of 2, or is it just Y raised to the power of 2?
It's only y raised to the power of 2.
Okay.
Some people say you just look and see what the exponent is touching.
Okay.
If the exponent is only touching the y. If it were x and y both being raised to the power of 2, there would be a set of parentheses around the x and the y.
Okay.
So don't write it in yet, just talk about what
Okay,
you do.
so I would do X plus X in parentheses multiplied by d of y squared over dx, and then plus y squared parentheses dx over dx.
Good. You're using the product rule.
Yeah.
You can call it the multiplying rule. The reason you're using the multiplying rule is because how are these 2 things mathematically associated? They're being multiplied, so it's the multiplication
Okay.
rule. do it the other way, it's a little safer. So write y squared dx dx plus x dy dx squared.